Hi everyone. Welcome back to the Pot Smoker's Bible. My name is Zion. I'm the author of the Pot Smoker's Bible, which contains the prophetic book of Zion, where I get my name and authority. It comes from the Ketuvim, or Old Testament, of the Talmud, or Hebrew Bible. I use the King James Version of the Christian Bible to put together the prophecy of Israel, because I was a Christian when I started this. I'm not anymore, believe me. Anyway, I put together the prophecy from the King James Version of the Bible. And then I followed all of the instructions that it gave me. And here we are on the verge of Zion. I'm happy because we are on the verge of Zion. Okay, I started this in 1979. So for me, this is a lifetime of struggle to get to this point. For you, it's just starting because you're just learning about the prophecy that I've already enacted. And I wrote the book, The Pot Smoker's Bible, in order to publish peace, to do the last thing on my to-do list, to become the Zion of the Most High God of Israel. And that is to publish peace, which is exactly what I've been doing here on social media and on YouTube. Now, I'm in my second reading of the Pot Smoker's Bible in the Book of Zion. Okay. Nobody's been paying attention anyway up until this point, so it really doesn't matter. But this is my second reading of the Pot Smoker's Bible in the Book of Zion. And I'm on the 21st chapter of the Pot Smoker's Bible, and the 18th chapter of the Book of Zion. I'm going to start where I left off, with Psalms 69:33, which is my next passage. It is Zion 18:16. For the Lord heareth the poor, and despiseth not his prisoners. The gray hears the cries of the poor, and doesn't hate the prisoners. There is a barrier between our active DNA and our gray DNA. It is an enzyme that can only be broken by the release of a stress hormone. The poor, who are the most stressed, produce this hormone and break the barrier. Then, when they get high, the THC can enter the receptacles. If the barrier is intact, you get sleepy. That is why the gray can hear the poor, high or not. If you're poor, chances are your stress has broken your enzyme barrier and the gray genome has been awakened. The prisoners, poor or not, have also broken the enzyme and can be heard, or at least the Zionite ones have. I doubt a true sociopath could ever break down that enzyme. It takes the most intense emotional response to become telepathic. Prisoners who are innocent will produce the required enzyme, whereas a thug won't. The gray feel compassion for prisoners of injustice. They can hear their sighs. Psalms 86 or 68:18 becomes Zion 18:17. Thou hast ascended on high. Thou hast led captivity captive. Thou hast received gifts for men, yea, for the rebellious also, that the Lord might dwell among them. I wrote this passage. Thou hast ascended on high. Thou hast led captivity captive. Thou hast received gifts for men, yea, for the rebellious also, so that they might dwell among them. Oh, what a glorious thought. Thou hast ascended on high. Yes, I have gotten high. I do it all the time. The use of marijuana is the cornerstone of my gambit for freedom and the fulfillment of prophecy. I have led captivity captive. Yes, I did. I held the state captive the day that I testified in the words of the prophecy. By enacting the prophecy in court, I set in motion the events portrayed in Scripture. From that moment on, the state was put in a captive state. I now have the power over them. They just don't know it yet. I have received gifts for men, but not just for men, for all of humanity. I have been taught to use my innate abilities given to us by the Great. I have also fulfilled all requirements for entry into galactic society, which is the greatest gift I bring. We Earthlings are about to become part of a greater universe. I bring many gifts to humanity. Yes, I come to lead the rebellious in their rightful bid for freedom, dignity, and the right to become all that we humans can be. I didn't start this war. I didn't deserve to be hunted down like an animal and imprisoned like a criminal. I wouldn't have led the rebellious if the state hadn't forced me to. But the government did force me and my people. They did create an abusive, unjustified, immoral act that created suffering unlike any other known to man. And by forcing my people to conform, they have forced us into a state of rebellion. So the state can't blame anyone but themselves for what is about to happen to them. And what's going to happen to them is this. One day, on 420, my people are going to get up, pack their families and all their stuff, and go camping. And they will go to the nearest designated camping zone for the event if they can't go to the main camp. It will be a campout strike to end the war on drugs. If this camping trip works right, we will be, by sheer force of numbers, create such a spectacle of public strike that the entire world will come to a complete stop. We will strike. Not one of us will go to work or take our children to school. We will go to the nursing homes and we will take our elderly with us, those who can travel safely. And we will stop traffic too. This campout will be like the Exodus of Moses. Literally. We will go camping and we will call upon the gray aliens. And just like in the time of Moses, the ships will come. An alien spaceship from another world. Literally God. From that moment on, the gray will dwell among the grays on Earth. And I'm a gray. Which brings us to Zechariah 9:11-13, which becomes Zion 18 to 20. As for thee also, by the blood of the covenant, I have set forth thy prisoners out of the pit, wherein there is no water. Turn ye to the stronghold, ye prisoners of hope. Even today do I declare that I will render double unto thee. When I have bent Judea for me, filled the bow with Ephraim, and raised up thy sons, O Zion, against thy sons, O Greece, and made thee as the sword of a mighty man. Wow. As for the oh, that's right. I don't have to use this one anymore. Turn ye to the stronghold, prisoners. The stronghold is Israel. Look to Israel. To the strong big brother. Look to the blood of our mutual father Abraham, because Israel is our stronghold. The nation of Israel should defend us once they realize who we are and what our creation means to them. So we will seek out our brother Israel when we declare our identity as the foretold people of Zion. And Israel should not be afraid to stand up for us, because we bring with us their God. We are the promise made to Israel. We are the hope of the children of Abraham. Our ascension on high is their redemption, long overdue. We are Zion, the hope of Israel. All Israelites who look to Zion look to us. Even today do I declare that I will render double to you. The suffering of Israel in Zion will not go unrewarded. In fact, we will receive double rewards for our pain. We will receive once for Israel and once for ourselves, Zion. We, who pay the price for humanity, receive double for that price. When I have bent Judea for me, filled the bow of Ephraim, and raised up thy sons, O Zion, once the gray arrive for all to see, then there will be a meeting between Israel, Zion, and the gray. We will join ranks with all other nations who accept the gray as the ancient gods. Become the Zionite, becoming the Zionite powers, who will, when necessary, fight the Greek-based Christian coalitions made up of all nations who reject the arrival of the gray as living gods of old. No one on our side wishes to wage any form of warfare. We of Zion know better. Our older brother Israel lost their way when they sought to be as others, other human nations. Their long and horrific exile from the gray have taught them to trust God. When God returns, they will take the gray's lead and reject warfare too. But the rest of humanity will refuse to give up their long-held beliefs and their all-too-easy lifestyles. They will not be given the new toys and higher techs that the gray will bring. They will, of course, want these things, but they will refuse to reform their current ways. One of those ways is warfare. Once the shock wears off, those left out of the new society will use every means to force us to bow to their will. They will try to spy on us. They will try to buy text from us. They will try to steal it from us. They will sanction us. They will blockade us. They will attack us with weapons of war. Zechariah 7, 9 and 10 becomes Zion 18, 21, and 22. The Lord of hosts, i.e., oops, that's not. Thus speaketh the Lord of hosts, saying, Execute true judgment, and show mercy and compassion every man to his brother. And oppress not the widow, nor the fatherless, the stranger, nor the poor, and let none of you imagine evil against his brother in your heart. The Lord of hosts, i.e., the gray, say that we should judge truth. We should show mercy and compassion. We should seek to do good to every man. We should also not oppress the widow, the fatherless, the stranger, or the poor, and that no one should imagine evil in their hearts towards their brother. Here we have moral law. Execute true judgment. All laws and every court case should be judged by truth, not by politics. The war on drugs is a political war, as all wars are. As I have said, I have found no proof, no prior true reason for the prohibition of marijuana. No true judgment can be rendered when the matter in question, i.e. drug use, is only relevant because in 1939 Dow Chemical and two white men wanted to oppress minority rights. There is no justice. That is true in regards to drug use. Verse 10 of this passage tells you exactly who are being oppressed by the state: the single mothers, their fatherless children, the strangers passing through, the poor. Let none of you imagine evil against your brother in his heart. May the gray watch over you, guide you, protect you, and keep you from all harm. May they treat you right from wrong, and may you be worthy of them. May your thoughts, words, and deeds reflect truth, good, and light, the unicorn way. Find your joy and pursue it. Make that your guild choice. Stay happy and high. If you use drugs, you have every right and reason to. Believe me, I know. I wrote the books. My name is Zion, and I love you way too much to ever say goodbye. So I'm going to say later now.